Thank you guys so much for just chilling with me on my podcast, okay? This is episode 4. If you're just coming and you're not caught up in things like that, check out the first 3 and then go from there. But on today's episode, we're going to talk about relationships. Now, of course, you guys already know throughout the podcast, I want you guys to ask yourself a question. What are relationships to you? What are relationships to you? What would you consider a relationship to be? This episode, you got 2 questions. But, yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it. So, first things first, what is a relationship? Relationship is an interaction between yourself and a person, place, or thing. And it can get more descriptive depending on if it's romantic, if it's family, if it's business, if it's any of those or whatever you choose to make it. So that is a relationship. A relationship can either be built on solid ground, on a beautiful foundation, or it can be built on a lie. But you have to understand that on this journey that you have to be able to ask yourself these type of questions, like what are my relationships built off? Even the relationship with yourself, which is why I made the podcast. The podcast is understanding perspectives, but you're getting a view of each perspective from a different perspective, outside of your own. So you have to be open-minded and you have to be optimistic about everything. Sometimes it can be impatient. Like it can be impatient in relationship. It can be impatience because you want things to happen a certain way. You don't want to have the other type of relationships, but now you have a different type of relationship with yourself. So you don't know how to come at someone trying to give you or express to you something that you don't understand. So, for example, what I mean is the relationship with yourself is kind of rocky because you're still learning yourself. You're still on a certain part of your journey. And then you turn around, someone comes up and they're trying to do business with you. But you're looking at, yourself, you're clearing out, you're healing your romantic stuff, you're healing family stuff, you're healing even job stuff. And it's like, okay, so somebody coming in here into my energy with this thing or notion of, oh, let me go ahead and let's get in a relationship. And you just looking like, huh? So that's why it's best to understand what relationships are to you. What do you consider a relationship to be? How is your relationship with yourself? Begin again to self-reflect. Allow yourself that opportunity, that space, that time to self-reflect on what it is that you've already been through. Excuse me, y'all. What you've already been through with yourself. Have you forgiven yourself? Have you not forgiven yourself? Have you allowed the relationships to change you? Is the relationship with yourself as good as you say? What is your relationship based upon? Because the only how you'll be able to, I say, coexist with others is if you have some type or some form of understanding with yourself in the exact relationship you have with yourself. But you cannot look at people to treat you how you treat you. I had to learn that along this journey. This is a self journey for real. So you're really going to see certain things. But when it comes to relationships, you have to be able to say what it is that you're looking for. So you have to be vocal in any type of relationship. You have to be vocal. Allow the person, place, or thing to know who you are and what it is that you bring to the table, or what it is that you offer, so that people can already have this notion that you are about your business, regardless of what it is. That's just like in the overall gist of building a healthier relationship with yourself. Build, like, what is your relationship with yourself built upon? And just how can you show others, once you got yourself together, how can you show others the relationship that you have with yourself? Now, to answer that question, it's all about how you treat yourself around others, how you treat yourself in private. How do you treat yourself? It's a lot of questions in this podcast, but it's all going back to relationships. The type of relationship you want and the type of relationship you desire, you have to give that to yourself. Give it to yourself so that you won't have to depend on another individual, place, or thing to give you something that you're perfectly capable of doing yourself. And it's not even to be, oh, I'm Miss Independent or Mr. Independent. It's more so like, I know who I am. I know the type of relationship I want. So I know that I need to give it to me so that I can attract and bring in whatever it is that I am desiring. So you have to take the relationship with yourself serious to be able to understand when someone's coming to you with the shenanigans. If someone's coming to you with like business opportunities, if someone's coming to you with a friendship instead of a romantic ship, if someone is coming to you to just be in your energy, to just play in your face, like, you have to be able to discern those things. It's tough. It's tough. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I'm human. So we all mess up. We all have our moments. But be okay with that. Your imperfections, your flaws, your faults. Be okay with that. Because at the end of the day, things change when you change. Hence why you're listening to this podcast. Because you need to open your eyes to a different perspective. Now, if you're into the multiple partners in relationships, situationship thing, I don't even know how to really describe it. But if you're into that, then you have to understand that your role is simply that to others, or the second one, or the first one to others. But to yourself, you're X, Y, and Z. So that's why it is so important to be confident in who you are. It's confidence, consistency. Excuse me. I was trying to wait for it to go by, but yeah. But it's just about having, again, that confidence, that consistency, that love, that relationship that's healthy with yourself. You won't allow people to walk over you. You won't allow yourself to be treated like a doormat. Understand that you're not an option. You're the prize. In any relationship you build, in any relationship you create, even a relationship with yourself, along this journey, you're going to have a moment where, again, it's going to be you versus you. because you've realized that you've just been competing with yourself. But others, some of them may have been competing with you when you didn't even know. Just saying. You will know who's in secret competition with you by the way they move. You look at a person and now they moving just like you. You with a person and they, saying your little, your little sayings and things like that. It's not about being ugly because somebody may just look up to you, may just, want their relationship. That's how they start their relationships with people. But you see what I'm saying? That's the type of relationship they have with themselves. It's like the identity of themselves is a little confusing. So they feel in order to compliment someone or to give someone their flowers or something like that, they have to be exactly like them. And for you, that's not how it works. Because you like, why are you, it just becomes weird. But if you're going to coexist with others, even if you're in a single relationship, any type of relationship, make sure that it's a reason, a meaningful reason. Don't just waste your time. All the work that you've done, don't waste the time. Don't waste your time on any of those things if it's not meaningful. Do not waste your time if it's not meaningful. What are we doing? I was actually speaking to somebody recently, and I had to say, we vibing, we kicking, whatever. But it's like, yo, what we doing? And right when I seen I couldn't get an answer, you ain't got to worry about it. I'll give you an answer. I'll pick it for you. I'll let you know what's up. And so, is it meaningful? Is it worth your time? Is this relationship worth creating? You get what I'm saying? It's a lot of pros and cons to relationships as well. Being able to look at a relationship as a benefit is like, having those type of connections, being able to network and things like that. The con of it is, you're making all these connections and relationships with people, but you don't know, really who's going, the relationship you made, who's going back saying what. That's when that what if, those hypotheticals, those things like that come into play. Because again, you're not around the person 24/7. So you're allowing your relationship with one person that you felt, it was a vibe or whatever, but you don't know who they talking to. You don't know what they talking about. So it can be anything, you know what I mean? So, but that's the con of it. I can keep going deeper in it, but I'm not. I'm actually end it there. But until next time, you guys, I really, really appreciate you guys for checking out my podcast, listening to this organic, natural presentation of what a relationship is. And don't get caught up trying to build relationships with people who don't even want a relationship with themselves. You'll know. But, all right. Thank you for chilling, vibing, relaxing. Be back for episode 5.